watching a master at work.
You win some, you lose some. But you live to fight another day.
He is I and I am him. Slim with the tilted brim. What's my motherfucking name?
Oh my God.
In the building. What's going on?
We live, man. What's going on,
man? How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. How are you?
I'm good, man. You know, weather's a little different, you know, but I'm good. Ready to get going, ready to get popping, as they say. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's get it going. Let's get it going. This is a long time coming, so I want to say welcome to the show. Everybody that's tuning in, we appreciate it. We look forward to building this relationship. And before we even get started, let me go ahead and introduce myself. I'm KJ.
I'm DJ.
He is I.
And I am him.
Oh, man, and we live, man.
All day, day one, right? All day, day one. Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Happy to do
Absolutely.
this. This has been a long time coming, Kev. You know, actually, from the minute you came out, dude, this is where we should have been. So I'm glad
you had a plan. You had a plan.
I had a plan, huh? Man. You know, it wasn't like, you know, it wasn't a podcast. You know, I didn't tell the doctor like, hey, you know, wait, this is gonna be big. But you know, this was gonna happen. So I'm glad.
Yeah, I was gonna say because they didn't have podcasts back in the 1980s, man. I don't know, you know, what you would have been thinking of back then, but you know,
you know how cell phone minutes were. So imagine the podcast, man. It would have been like, that's it, done. Next, you know, Polaroid, because there's no way we could have been discussing it. But go ahead, though, man. Go ahead. It's good.
Yeah.
I'm just glad.
Let's do this, man. Let's kind of dive into a little bit of backstory, where we're from, kind of how we got up to this point. And after we do that, man, we'll kick off some previews and some segments of the shows that we'll do today and we'll do in the future. So I'm gonna pass it on to you since you had this idea from before I was born, man. Why don't you start it off and just kind of let everybody know about you and where we're from, and then I'll chime in after that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Kev, we're from, I forgot the city and stuff, you know, but I just want to, you know, say that LA born, LA raised, definitely a dude from the West Side. Shout out to people all over LA, not just West Side, but I've been in California all my life, you know, born and raised and stuff. And for me, doing something like this is big because, you know, that's what, you know, I went to school for. You got a little school with that. So, you know, to have it combined where you and me get together, do a father and son thing, and talk about our dynamic. Yeah, man, we don't need no internet. We don't need no internet. So
not at all. And where'd you go to high school at? Where'd you go to college at? You know, what part of LA did you grow up in?
I definitely grew up, you know, on the West Side of LA, and shout out to everybody on the West Side. And then, you know, I get a lot of flack for it, but I went to Hollywood High. You know, got to get, you know, a lot of alumni from Hollywood High. I'm not gonna drop names, but you know. And then I'm a big CSUN. You know, shout out to my people that went, you know, to the California State College kind of stuff. But yeah, man, that's about it, man. That's how, you know. What about you?
Yeah,
tell me a little bit about you.
Absolutely. So, you know, obviously, you know, you met Mom at Universal Studios Hollywood. Mom is I don't think they really use this term anymore, but you know, there was the Valley Girl term. So Mom was from the Valley, you were from LA. And so I grew up in the Valley and in LA, right? I was either on the west side of LA with you. Mom worked in Hollywood, or I went to school a lot of my life in the Valley. Always was a hooper growing up in my life. Played a lot of basketball. Went to Fairfax High for a quick stint. Shout out to Lions Den. Went to El Camino High School in the Valley. Shout out to Conquistadors, everybody that's out there, all my grade 1-8 peeps. But yeah, man, I'm excited. You know, this is something that you and I have been talking about since maybe like October, November of last year or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. You know what? Let me just say this real quick. You know, I just thought about, you know, I went to Hollywood, you went to Fairfax. Yeah. You know, we're father and son. And those are two rivals, man. Those are two rivals, Hollywood and Fairfax.
To who? That's not a rival to Fairfax.
My sheep.
To who? Yeah, no.
All I'm saying,
Westchester is Fairfax rival. Westchester is Fairfax.
Okay. Let me just say, in the neighborhood, they were rival. I mean, that was always our big thing was playing Fairfax. So you're right. You're right. Generations apart. but we were, so it's good that father and son, I don't hold it against you. You don't hold it against me. You know what I mean?
No,
Even though,
no.
Okay. But no, yeah,
No.
I just want to say it's weird that all, for you to grow up and go to my rival school and me being proud that, that you went there for, whatever. But yeah, I just thought about that, man, that we were rivals. We were rivals.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. And we're going to talk about a lot of things on the podcast, but I think some of the things that will naturally come up is just our father and son dynamic and how, even though we didn't spend every single day together growing up, you would never be able to tell, right? Like I have so many of your isms, right? Like, and even just a full circle of me going to Fairfax, the things that I'm into,
exactly.
It's just, it's crazy. And so,
isn't it though?
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, isn't it just, everybody talks about, coincidences or faith or path, or fate or path or things like that. But just like you said, you were raised in the Valley, but then you end up going to my rival high school. I didn't hold it against you. I might have held it against your mom, but I didn't hold it against you. You know what I mean? So it's just weird.
I really grew up in Hollywood, right? Because my mom worked at the Hollywood YMCA, which is right there on Selma, right? Which is within a stone's throw of Hollywood High School. So
she became friends with my coach. With my football,
who was your coach?
Who was your coach? Coach Rippey. She became friends with Coach Rippey.
At the Y? Was Rippey at the Y?
No, they have some kind of, for some reason, because it's so close. Hollywood High is so close to that Y.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they became, and I was like, oh man, that's just total, like, what is it, Lion King? That full circle of life kind of thing, right? just man, that's what I mean. It's just weird how, you try to figure out life, but you can't do that, man. It just as it comes. You got to appreciate what you see, who you're around. You never know who's going to, fall into who. So yeah, man, this is why I'm glad we fell into this podcast, right?
Absolutely. Did you ever? I never asked you this, but did you ever go to the YMCA back as a kid, like in high school? Like, did you ever go over there?
No, man. No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
And that's what I'm saying. It's weird where, I met your mom at Universal. When we worked at Universal, and for her to end up being at the Y down the street from my high school, and then she ends up hooking up with my, working with my football coach, my high school football coach. It's just, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just weird, man. It's weird how everything just goes like in a circle,
Yeah.
Again, the Lion King. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. But yeah, it's just weird, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. It is, man. It is. And, this is the first episode, but we're going to cover a lot, so this is the first of many. And I encourage everybody to, tune in, give your comments, whether it's good or bad. There's going to be some,
we want them.
Yeah, we want them. There's going to be some laughs for sure. There's going to be some debates for sure. There's going to be some debates for sure. And, listen, I'm often right, but every once in a while, my dad is correct. So, I need you guys to be that judge. I need you guys to be the judge and really let them know, I need you guys
It's going to be a short podcast, man. You know what I mean? It's going to be a one show podcast, man, because
it is what it is, man. Wait till we talk about the Crocs versus Uggs. Wait till we talk about the Jordan versus Kobe. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, man. All
my old dudes out there, all the old heads that wear Jordans, man. I'm not with you, but you'll see later on, man. It's a lot of stuff like that, man, where, we're going to be talking about our dynamic, as a father and son. And, just like Kev said, it's difficult for a lot of people to have those kind of conversations about not just, Crocs versus Uggs, but like you said, Jordan, are you too old to wear Jordans? Should you be rocking like the holes in the jeans, while you're picking up that Bengay at the drugstore and stuff, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's going to be fun, man, talking about just, the father and son dynamic. We're a father and son. It's not a father and son podcast. Everybody out there, we're just a father and son doing a podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we're definitely going to be talking about certain things, a lot of things that come into play, being a father and son. You know what I mean?
And there's gonna be times where I'm gonna ask you, Dad, why did you choose to raise me this way, right? Like, what approach did you decide to take? What thought process went through that? So, like you said, just to echo and piggyback on what you just mentioned, it's not a quote unquote father and son podcast. We're not gonna be giving father and son advice every single
Exactly.
day, but I think the natural dynamic, what you see and how we're inquisitive with each other and how we're open with each other, we hope
Always,
that,
man.
you know, in
Always.
doing that, maybe it does help some father and sons, or just, you know, any parent and child combination. And again, we hope we bring you some laughs. We hope we challenge you a little bit, maybe have you thinking outside of the box. And we're excited to hear back from you for sure.
Definitely, no question. Definitely, man. When we, you know, just to say real quick, when we talk about, you know, getting those comments, we definitely want to hear what you think about, you know, how our relationship, because we'll go into, you know, father and son, like Kev said, like KJ said, the dynamics of the father and son, and that's what we think makes us so unique, is that, you know, he's my best friend, and a lot of parents say that, you know, oh yeah, my kid's my best friend, and you are my best friend, but you know, I always come back to, I'm your parent though too. You know, and we've had a lot of people during the course of your life say, you know what, I definitely want to have that relationship with my kids that, you know, you have with Kevin, you know, with KJ, because KJ, you know, to me, it's like it comes down to, you can't be afraid. You can't be afraid to be vulnerable. You know, you can't be afraid to be like, you know, wrong, because I'm never wrong, but you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, right? Because it's just something where you got to be able to, like, you know, balance life. Like all the parents, you know, every parent says that. But the test comes, man, when the parent has to be vulnerable, when the parent has to say, you know what, I got to say I'm sorry to my kid. I got to, you know, so it's going to be a lot of different stuff that we talk about, that dynamic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's definitely going to be fun, man. Definitely going to be fun.
Yeah,
Can't
it
wait.
is. And just real quick on that, it's like, as a child too, sometimes I think you want to ask your parents some tough questions, right? Especially as you get older, there might be some things that now you've got a chance to look back on, and you might have some, you know, how come this happened? How come that happened? And I think it does so much for the relationship if you're able to ask those tough questions. But it'll be interesting, Pop, for you to speak from a parental view on, you know, how you do handle that, because some parents just deflect, right? I don't want to talk about that, you know, that's what does that matter now, that type of approach. And
Exactly.
I just don't think that's the best. So let's
No,
kind of leave it there, Pop. But that's something that, you know, we want the audience and we want everybody that's rocking with us to look forward to. So we're going to talk about everything: pop culture, our favorite movies, favorite food,
all
jokes,
that,
laughs.
all that.
But we are going to still talk about the importance of the dynamic that you and I share, and you know, just our perspectives on other relationships as well too.
You know what? I'm glad you said that, because you do got to have other perspectives, Kev. And I think you know, we have that. We have that.
We do have that actually.
We do. We have that. We have that.
Should we introduce?
We should, man, because you know what?
Yeah, let's do that.
You never should. Let's do that, man. You know,
and listen, I think it's only right for you to do the introduction. You know, like it's only right. So, however you want to introduce this special person, go ahead and do that. And before you do though, I just want to say thank you to this person, because without this person, we really wouldn't have been able to get this far, honestly. And the relationship is new, but I hope that it lasts a long time. And we're just really grateful. So that's my 2 cents. But go ahead and give her the official introduction,
Kev,
Pop.
I'm a piggyback on that, man, and say we're lucky. We're lucky, man. And a lot of times, you know, you got to have that other pair of eyes in your life. You know what I mean? To make things right, to be able to tell you, like, you know, good, bad. We got that. And if the relationship it might be new, but let me tell you, man, she is it. She is it, Kev. She is. You know, well, let's just bring her in, man.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
This is our producer, Breezy. For me, it's Breezy, but that's a long story, and we'll get into that later. But Breezy, won't you come on in and let everybody know, because you know you're gonna be coming in, letting us know when, you know, keeping that eye on us like that other parent. You know, so come on in, Breezy. Come on in.
Hey everyone, thank you so much, gentlemen, for just having me here. As mentioned, I am Brianna Javon. I am a podcaster and I'm a producer as well. Plug in my own podcast is What's Good Podcast.
That's right. Check it out.
But I am so excited about this opportunity with working with you gentlemen. Just the intro itself had me over here laughing and just really like full of joy, because I'm a daddy's girl. And to this day, me and him have conversations of, you know, when me and my brother were younger, what was this going, like, you know, this was going on, why was this happening? And we laugh about it and we learn from each other. I'm always going to be his little girl, but he does see me in the lens of, okay, she's a grown woman now, she's growing, she's blossoming. So it's just good to see that with this podcast as well, because as we know, Black families are secretive and we can't really talk, and it's a lot of shutdown situation. Exactly. But this is going to be fun, informative, educational, and I'm just so grateful to be a part of it. And I'm just so thankful. Y'all get to see what I've been working with these last couple of weeks. So it's just been a joy.
Yes, and you're gonna keep us in check too, right? Like you're gonna keep us in check. You're gonna give us a fresh perspective, because we definitely need a woman's point of view. Without a woman, we wouldn't be anywhere. So we definitely need that. And,
the balance.
We're happy that you're on with us. Absolutely, that balance.
Man, I can't even breezy. You see that? See how That's all KJ. But I echo that. Oh my God, a woman is like that's another thing. You Black, and I like Breezy how you said that especially in our community, that the Black woman is that she is the icon. You know what I mean? But and to me, when I was talking about being vulnerable and all that kind of stuff, that's what I mean. If a Black woman, to me, Kevin, I know you feel the same way. Strength is strength, and so I definitely have to piggyback on Breezy that you're right. Being able to be vulnerable and talk like we're talking about now. You being a daddy's girl, Kev just being my man, and it's communication is everything. It's everything, and I totally agree with you about what you said. That's definitely how we're looking at it. So I appreciate you. I know KJ does. So thank you very much, Bree, for taking us in.
Yeah, thank you, Bree. And Bree's gonna be popping in from different times. So we're definitely gonna be asking her to join us and give us some fresh takes. So be on the look for that. And thank you, Bree. We appreciate it.
You guys.
We appreciate it, Bree. For real. Okay.
You already know.
Yeah,
I think what we should do, Pop, is we should really roll out some of the segments that we're gonna do, right?
Let's do
it. Every show, we're gonna have a couple of different segments. Today we're gonna go over 2 segments, but there'll be some different segments as we continue to do each episode. So the first segment that we have for you guys is kind of a have you heard, kind of what's going on in the news type of segment called Amen. And let's give them a little bit of background on that, Pop. Give them the Amen type of background. Like why are we calling it Amen? Where did that come from? Talk to them. Because since you are the OG in this relationship, tell them where that Amen came from.
You know what? And I'm gonna say, I may be the OG. I mean, I'd rather just refer to as Pop, but I'll take the old head OG anyway. Yeah, I mean, I think the hey man is like you see people, you talk your friends, your boys, like, hey man, did you hear so and so? Hey man, what about blah blah blah? That's just something where me talking to you need hey man, hey. Because you and I say man, or you've heard me say man.
That's what I was gonna say. Let them know a little bit about that. Like that is your staple, and by that being your staple, it ended up being mine, right?
It is, because when you were young, your grandmother, my mom, great icon, great woman.
Shout out Granny.
She had a way of letting me be who I was, and I didn't have to say, hey mom. I could say, hey man. Oh, come on, man. How you doing? And people would trip out that I'm calling my mom man. But my mom, your grandma, man, she called me a little bastard. You know what I mean? Right. And my dad was there my entire life. But that was just her little, that was just, it was endearing. Right. It wasn't something to it was like, hey, you little bastard, come here, blah, blah.
Right.
So me saying, hey man, it's just like, hey man, to where that's what you heard. You heard like
you got to stretch out that A though. She bastard. Right? You got to stretch out that A. How she used to
right, you little bastard. Right. And so I grew up being able to talk to my mom, in that sense. But my mom commanded respect. That. It wasn't like I was like one of those kids who like saying profanity to her and all that to her, like
talking
hey
back
God damn it, I'm not cleaning up my room. What the hell you think this shit? Nah. It was more like, hey man, hey man. You know what I mean? So that's where that came from, where, that we talk like that, you talk like that, you're like, hey man, hey.
So because of you, I can't, my first words might have been, hey man, you know what I mean?
Exactly, right?
So, exactly, absolutely. Exactly. So let's go ahead and dive into that segment. So this segment is called Amen. So we got something to talk about. So Pop, man, hey man. Did you hear about what's going on with the Silicon Valley Bank, man? Do you know what I'm talking about? Did you hear about that?
I do not. Talk to me about it a little bit. Talk to me about it a little
bit. So we talk a lot about corporate environments, business, right? Economics. We're going to talk about politics. But this is kind of fresh. This probably happened in the last, I want to say, definitely in the last week. By the time this comes out, it's going to be within the last couple of weeks. But basically, Silicon Valley Bank was a new bank that had gotten closed down. And so what happened was I want to say they had approximately about a couple $100 million in customer deposits, right? Everybody, opened up, it was a new bank, right? People depositing their money. And what the bank did was, and this is where, I used to work for a bank. I used to work for Washington Mutual before Chase Bank bought them out. So shout out all my old WAMU.
Rest in peace. No, wait. Let me just put in there. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Washington Mutual.
Rip that. And it's like, and I didn't realize until I got into the bank that it was a business. And I know on the surface, some people are probably like, yeah, duh. But everything is a business, right? Like, we are a capitalist country, and whether it's the hospitals, whether it's the banks, hell, man, whether it's the schools, everything is for profit as a business. And so for these banks, what they did, right, Pop, is they took all of these deposits in like any other bank would. And what is a bank? Some people probably think, oh, when I go and put $100 in the bank, they go and put it in a little safe place for me. And then when I want to pull it out, they just go and pull it out. No, that's not what happens, man. They hold your money for you, and then they go and invest your money for you. They give you a very minute return, right? And that's what they do. And there's the FDIC where your money's insured up to a certain amount and all that stuff. But I digress. Yeah, 250. But what happened was they took all of this money and the deposits, and they invested it in bonds, right? And the interest rate dropped severely in the bonds. So they panicked, right? And somehow, I'm not sure exactly, but word had got out, right? And so all these customers of the bank started to panic naturally. So they started going to the bank, give me my money. And the bank had lost almost $2 billion in losses from investing those customer deposits, man. So they officially had to shut down. If you were an investor, or, somebody that had a large sum of money, basically, it could be anybody, an entrepreneur, business person. If you have over $250,000 in that bank, you're going to have to wait for them to pay you back. It could be a couple of years before you get that money back, because that is the cap for being FDIC insured, man. So, yeah, I wasn't sure if you had heard about it, but I wanted to get your take on that, man. And just, how crazy is that, man? And does that mean that, that's something that we should be concerned about as we potentially maybe go back into another recession, right? Like, just what does that mean to you? How do you feel about all that?
The first thing that came to mind was that's why my parents' generation and before them, I don't know if you heard, that's why people were like, keep money in their mattresses, keeping money at home. Not putting their money in a bank because, people would say like, you know what, just put it in a bank, because just like you said, they think that, I'm tucking it away. If I put it in a bank, they might, lose my money. You know what I mean? So to hear that a bank, an institution, a financial institution used the money and can't reimburse those companies, right? For an extended period of time. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. I mean, I'm old, so I can remember savings and loans when they were closing up, and people, they were concerned. It wasn't like in the the Wall Street crash and 29 and all that kind of stuff. And no, before you say it, I wasn't there in 1929, but I'm just saying it wasn't. It wasn't. Go ahead. Yeah, I mean, I don't remember seeing the specific story, but yeah, it's crazy that it just pulls in people's fears. What they it draws on their fear of financial institutions. Right.
Yeah. Like, and what's crazy? What's crazy, Pop? Yeah. What's crazy though, real quick? It's like what happened if we have our business account, right? And shout out our LLC, by the way. He is I am him Productions, man. Shout out that LLC, man. But
definitely no question.
Let's say we got our banking account, right? And we got $100 in there. We go to the golf course, we pull out $150. What's gonna happen with our account, Pop? Can you just explain in layman's terms, in case we got some really young viewers out there? What's gonna happen? What are they gonna do to our account, Pop?
When we try to pull that money, and even if we get that money and there's no funds,
let's say we get it. Let's say we get it. Let's say we charge the card and it's 150 and it goes through, but we only got 100 in there. What's gonna happen to our account?
We're gonna get charged an overdraft account, right? So now there's fees, right?
Right. Now hold on though. This is what's so crazy about the world, right? So
Right.
now on the flip side of that, right? The bank is now overdrafted. They can't pay the people, but there's no overdraft fee that's going to be paid. So if I'm one of those people that has to wait for my money, how come I'm not getting a little juice on top of that? You know what I mean? And that's what's so crazy about the world that we live in today, man. That's what's so crazy about it.
Because Silicon Valley, man, Kev, you hit the nail on the head, because you know, they may say, yeah, well, yeah, we may have some temporary funding issues, but yeah, Mr. Johnson, we're charging you a fee, overdraft fee, you know, for the money that you took out. But how you gonna charge? It's my money that you don't have, but you're gonna charge me a fee, right? So
or now you're not paying me. Can I charge you an overdraft fee? Because now you can't give me my money. So can I? And listen, you know, an overdraft fee, I don't even know what it is back in the day, because God is good. I haven't overdrafted in a long time, but I remember 10 years ago, 15 years ago, an overdraft fee was like $30-some, man. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, that percentage is crazy.
I agree with you, man. Because think about it. You know how people always say, like, yeah, man, I got like $19 in my bank account, man. You know, I can't pull out that ATM. I can't go and pull out 20, but I do. Now I got to pay 30. Right now I got to pay $35. Well, shoot, I only had 19. Now I got to pay
Ain't
back.
That crazy?
That's juice. We
better off going to the dude on the block, man, and asking for a loan, man, and him charging us 10% on a loan or something like that. You know what I mean? Outside of going to the bank, man, it's crazy.
No question.
It's crazy.
I kind of feel like you just. I kind of feel like. No, I'm just gonna say I kind of feel like you're trying to hit me up for a loan right now, man. The way you kind of brought that
man,
in,
well,
man.
you know, man, I do need some more golf stuff, man. You know what I mean? We're gonna get to that a little bit later.
Okay,
I do need that 3 hybrid, right. You know what I mean? I need that Scotty Cameron. I need that Scotty Cameron putter.
Okay.
You know, all
right.
Yeah, man,
right.
I need to,
I'm gonna do like Silicon Valley.
I need to spruce up the bag a little bit, man. You know?
I would do like Silicon Valley. Yeah, I'm gonna get back to you on that, man. I'm gonna get back to you.
Right. See the way my checking account was set up, my savings account. Yeah. The Silicon Valley is definitely on their Kevin Hart tip right now with what they got going on. But you know, it's crazy though, man. And it's just you know, it's nuts, because this leads into a whole nother subject, and we probably won't have the time to go into it today. But you know, what does it say about America too? Like a financial institution like that, to have something like that happen is crazy, you know. And I think it's worth talking about in another show, Pop, just about where America is today versus maybe where America was when you were coming up, right? You know, are we still the most strongest nation, right? Like, what's at the precipice for us in the future? Like, what's going on? So, yeah, it's interesting, man. It's interesting.
No, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's definitely something we're going to talk about. You know, and I think that segment, Black to the Future, is where, you know, we're going to talk about.
Yeah, that's coming.
You know,
coming soon.
Yeah, it's coming, where we're going to talk about, you know, you're going to ask me about things that, you know, occurred, you know, that I, you know, may have some type of knowledge about or experience, versus me, you know, conversely asking you, Kev, what's going on right now, man? I don't know, why the young people doing this and that, you know. So again, it comes back to that dynamic of, you know, between you and I, father and son, man to man, black man to black man, you know. Yeah. And let's be honest, you know, you're biracial. Right.
Yeah, so, I was gonna say, man. You know, shout out my mixed babies out there, man. You know,
right? You got that perspective that I don't have. Right? I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, there's a lot. You know, just real quick, there's a lot of people that out there, a lot of parents, you know, moms and dads, you know, biracial relationships. They're gonna want to, you know, they might have young kids. They might want to hear something that we say that makes them go, okay, this is how I'm gonna treat my kids. This, you know, this is what they went through. You know, I want to know, well, how did they do that? Well, what happened between them? You know, and something happened between us. You know, we had a little vacation, as we like to call it. Yeah. You know, that'll be another episode. Yeah. You know, but that's part of the dynamic. That's part of the dynamic.
Right, right. That's part of the vacation, and then also too, right? Like, you know, for whatever reason, right, or however it was, God's path. We didn't live together either, right? You know what I mean? I saw you on the weekends and stuff like that, right? So so yeah, man, it's interesting, and you know, my mom being white and raising a young black man with a badass attitude was very you know, very difficult. And so yeah, we'll definitely touch on that, and I'd love to give just my little pieces of perspective on how that was for me and how my mom did it, and all that, man. So shout out, Mom. I'm sure you're gonna be tuning into this. I love you.
And shout out to you, man. Your mom, you know, I you know, just real quick, I just, you know, I said, and Breezy talked about it too, you know, about the black woman, and, you know, how strong they are. You know, your mom, man, I got some things to say about your mom, man, but your mom's not afraid of anybody. and
Nah,
we'll
hell
get into
no,
that
man.
later.
Hell no.
She's,
Hell no.
So definitely shout out to your mom, man. Definitely shout out to your mom.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. Shout out, mom, man.
You know
I
what I mean?
love you for sure. Right on, man. Right on. So yeah, Pop. I think it's crazy what happened with the whole bank situation. I guess, but just really quick, like maybe a couple of minutes, man. What age were you when you opened up your first bank account, and what bank was that? Like, and how was that whole dynamic?
Wow. Well, to be honest, I was talking to Fred Flintstone, because that's how long ago it was,
Yeah.
And back then, I think your grandmother, man, she got me a bank account. I want to say when I was like 6 or 7 years old. So
okay.
That was something that she wanted me to have, and she wanted me to see, how that whole transaction, how that work dealing with a bank. Because when I was in high school, like, they don't even teach that now, man. They used to teach you how to do a checking account.
Right. And I was just gonna ask you, Pop, like, yo, this is a serious question too, man. And,
go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yo, when did debit cards first come out? Because I remember there was the ATM card, right? Like, what, like, did you always have an ATM card, or was that something that was new too? And then when the hell did debit cards come out?
That was new. That was new too, man.
So first it was the checkbook. First it was the checkbook. Then it was the ATM card, and then it was the debit card. Hey, man, walk us through that real quick, man. That's crazy. Walk us through that real quick, man.
Oh, man, you know what? And I think Ice Cube has it in some of his songs. I've heard him say, they would say the ready teller. They didn't say the ATM. They would say the ready teller, because that's what they call it.
Okay.
The ready teller.
Okay.
And then it just went to ATM. So yeah, we'll get into that, man. I can't wait to go back.
Yeah, I want to know because now that you said it, I just thought about it right now. It's like, man, the actual saving, like, you got a credit card? No, that's just my ATM card, my savings account. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
I do that now, man. I do that now. I'm like,
right.
Oh, it's ATM. All right.
Oh, just my ATM card. Yeah. So we'll definitely chop it up about that, man. But Pop, man, let's go into the next segment. So tell them a little bit about what this segment is going to be, and I'm gonna pass it over to you, man.
No, yeah, thanks, Kev. I wanna, we have a tendency, man. You and I, we talk whenever we chop it up. We talk about, if it's not, hey, man, there's always this entity. It may be a person, a thing, a situation, and this motherfucker, right? We're just, and get that little disclaimer out there that, we make curse time and, here and there.
Yeah,
father and son, man to man. Yeah, you know what I mean? So let me just get that out there. So this segment's called This Motherfucker, right? Because come on, let's be honest. I mean, Breezy, she's not gonna, but she may not say it like that. But even in her sense, in her mind, I'm sure in her mind she says,
it's like this mother. Yeah. So who we
exactly,
what's
right?
Going on?
Exactly. Yeah. Right. So let me bring in. Let me start off with. I want that first motherfucker to be special to this podcast, and you don't know who it is, so I'm going to surprise you.
Oh, okay. I thought I might know who it is based on some symbolism that we've been doing, but go ahead. Who is it?
Yeah, I mean, in the spirit of what's going on with Ja Morant, right? And stuff that went on with the Ball trio. Oh my God! Yeah, exactly. We said we were going. Yeah. So in the spirit of that, man, the first, and LeVar Ball. So the first, this motherfucker is me. I am the first one. Yes, it's me. It's me. I am the. So let me say to myself, this motherfucker, because
what you do?
It's me because. Kev, shout out to all the parents that see their kids in athletics and all that stuff and be supportive, and try to make it, the things, great for them. Kev, you were an elite basketball player since you were like 5, 6 years old. And when, everybody thinks their kid's special, they do.
Yeah.
But you were beating adults when you were 8 years old, and not like playing around beating adults. You were kicking ass, when you were 8 years old, and so even as you progressed, you were a great, you were, and this is no hyperbole or being hyperbolic. You were always like Kobe Bryant or all of these great players who stay in the gym, stay with the ball. Everybody's gone. You're still playing. You're still practicing the shot. You're still, I want to make this many in a row. And I could see it. Your mom could see it. Other people could see it. And I'm saying, I'm this motherfucker because I should have done more. I should have been not in the T Morant or, like I said, LeVar Ball kind of type of thing, but I should have done more. I should have stayed on it, because you don't mess around with somebody's gift like that when you see at that young age they have a gift, right? So to me, Kev, DJ, your dad, is the first this motherfucker.
Damn,
and I am proud to have that, only in the sense that I get a chance to change that with this podcast. I get a chance to come on and say, I'm doing this with my son because he's talented. He has this talent, this knack, this same kind of ability, and I'm not going to do that again. You don't get a second chance sometimes. This is a second chance.
Damn.
So
I just want to say, man.
I'm sorry, man. I'm just,
man. I didn't know you was going to say that, man.
Exactly, you did exactly, man. Because
I really appreciate.
No, man. No, that kicks into the whole thing that we were talking about. To bring it full circle, is you got to be able to be vulnerable and tell your kids, hey, I fucked up, and excuse my language, but I did, because you were great, and nobody knows, but you just sent me like a little real little thing, last week, like, when you were like, making the three without looking.
I can still get in my bag every
you
once
still,
in a while,
you can still make the long three without looking. So
right,
that's why it's
the Steph Curry before Steph Curry, man.
Right, exactly. Steph Curry was like, I heard about this KJ dude. I heard about this.
Yeah, I heard about him.
But I just want to, definitely give you that shout out in this segment, because your dad should have done more. And I was there. I saw, I was there for you, but I wasn't as much. And I know you would have been. You definitely was going to be somebody in the basketball world. So I just want to say that's on me. All right, that's on me. Man, that's on me, man. So
I can't tell you how much this means, and this conversation is recorded. So just in case you ever try to go back on this, by the way, I got this on wax now. But no, man,
I can say it's part of the script, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's on wax. It's on wax. But no, in all seriousness, man, like, it really means a lot for you to say that. And there's maybe some other kids or men now that feel a way about when they came up playing sports or having a gift, and then that gift didn't come to fruition. Like, I know for me, I didn't even really understand what depression was until I realized my senior year that it was my last basketball game. I had no college scholarship offers, and that basketball was probably really over for me. And now in reality, it probably wasn't if I would have pursued it. But in my mind, something I've been doing since I was 5 years old, something I was always talented at, I felt like my world was over, man. You know what I mean? It hurt me to the core. It had me acting out of character. It had me looking for ways to escape reality, and so I appreciate it, man. I think thanks to you and Mom, I was blessed with other abilities and gifts, and I was able to navigate and find my way in life. But there's a lot of people that have gifts like that when they're coming up, and when it doesn't work out the way that they planned, they crash out. You know what I mean? And it means a lot. No matter if you would have told me this now, 20 years from now, it really means a lot. And it almost honestly kind of heals that pain that I may have been, keeping inside for so long. So I want to just say thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, man. Love you, man. That's what I talked about, man. I appreciate those words, and I appreciate how you just said it, because it says a lot about you. Because you got to have that inflection. You got to be able to look at yourself and say, what am I doing wrong? Where am I going? Where have I been? How am I going to make it to where I can do other things? But that's what I'm talking about, that focus that you had. That focus that you had. That's something that I taught you, your mom taught you. You had that. You still have it. That's why you're successful now in what you do, because you have that focus. So just taking that inflection, that's being a man. And I can't ask for anything more as your dad.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and you can't get me right
where do you think I got my competitiveness from, man?
Oh, man, I'm not exaggerating, man. Jordan Cole, you beat me down. I'm your dad, right? I mean, I'm bigger than you. I'm like, bodying you up and everything. And you look how we got. How would we get? We'd be going at it, right? And if I ever even got close, I'm not even talking about beating you. I'm just talking about getting close. Because, it can be said that I'm, I had some skills, whatever. Not like you. But just if I got close to beating you, I mean, you was you were upset that I was even getting close, right?
Man,
And that just carried through no matter.
And what do we always used to go get after playing too, man? What did I always want to go get, man?
I don't know, man. Refresh my memory. I'm sorry. I'm when you're a loser, you don't really think about that kind of stuff.
So I definitely want to go get that large Coke Slurpee. You know what I'm saying? From I definitely Pop, man.
Shout out to Coke. Shout out to Coke and having Slurpees.
Shout out to Coca-Cola. Shout out to them Slurpees, man.
Yeah,
they don't make Slurpees like they used to, man. I've been getting Slurpees since the polar bear was on it with the ices. You know what I mean? But,
right? Oh my God, man.
Yeah. For real. Yeah. But yeah, that, and then we sometimes used to get the big gulp Pepsi, because it wasn't like you weren't the type of parent that wouldn't let me drink soda, of course. But at the same time, it wasn't like I was just having 10 sodas a day. So after we had a nice hard fought game, we go get the big gulp. It was the big gulp back then, right?
Big gulp, yeah. It was huge.
Yeah,
it was huge. And that's what I mean.
We used to go get that. Yeah, so it was good. That was good times, man. Sorry I had to do you like that, by the way, man. Sorry.
That's okay, man. I still got scars from that, man. I'm not talking about physical scars. Yeah. Well, I'm talking about mental scars, man. It's man. Bad. It's bad, Kev, when, my friends, that have known you, for at least 2/3 of your life, man, your son used to just beat my ass, man. I remember.
Yeah, they used to get it too. Yeah, they used to get it too. And it's funny because, like, as a kid, Pop, at first they think it's like kind of funny, like, oh yeah, he scored on me a couple times. I just let him score.
Right?
Then it goes from that to like, oh shit, I'm gonna really try to lock him up. Then they can't, and then it goes to a little bit of like frustration, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then that's man, I used to see those degrees of just like, oh okay, that was cute. Oh, I'm gonna really lock him up. Oh damn, he's really better than me. I don't enjoy this, and let
me give some of the fathers out there, the fathers and some moms. You know how when you see the coach of the team, they're no matter what level, the coach always thinks that he can beat his players, until it's, until even high school, the coach is like, I can still control my players. I can beat my players. That wasn't the case with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every level. It was like, I can't believe it, man. I'm like, yeah, you see my pain? You see my pain? That's what you know what I mean? They could see it was the same thing that I was going through on a weekly basis. Yeah. Right. So I agree with you.
By the time I got about like 12 or 13, it was real bad. But yeah, man, it was a lot of good times, man. It was fun. I enjoyed all them times coming out, playing, hooping. It was a big part of my life. Again, shout out all my hoopers out there. And also one thing too, I want to mention, Pop, is a lot of episodes, it's gonna be just you and I chopping it up. We're gonna have Bree on, of course, but we also gonna do some interviews too, right, Pop? We're gonna want to talk to some people out there. So we love to hear from you guys if there's anybody that you guys want us to talk to. I can tell you off the bat, we're going to talk to some people in the entertainment industry. We're going to talk to some athletes. Again, me and my pops are both passionate about economics and politics. We'll probably talk to somebody in that lane.
No
so look forward to that, man. We're definitely going to have some interviews coming down the pipeline.
No question, because I think, that father-son dynamic, I haven't seen a lot of stuff where, they have you may talk to somebody, but they don't have the father and the son, or the mother and the daughter. You'll see mother and daughter more than anything else, but you don't see father and son. And I think it's something where if you have a chance to talk to a father and son at the same time, whether they're famous or not, that's what you want. Because we're all, I don't care what your occupation is, you're a father and a parent to your son, and it's good to have that interaction. It's good to see you laugh in a sense, talking to somebody else who's not their friends or not, you know what I mean, or their coworkers. You know what I mean? So you learn a lot from people when you get that father-son, that parent-child dynamic. And I can't wait for us to chop it up like that, because that's going to be great.
Yeah, me too. And I think the goal, that we have with this is to reach a lot of different people, right? And I'm 36 years old. Pop, we're just gonna say you're above 50. We're just gonna say you're above 50.
I had you when I was like 7, man.
Yeah, but I think the unique thing for us is, I might not connect, completely in all facets with the 18-year-old, but I think I can still understand that 18 to 25 bracket for sure. I think obviously 25 and up, I'm there. And so our goal when we're interviewing people and just in all of our conversations is to be relatable to somebody, whether they're 16, 17, 18, or whether they're 70, 75, 80 years old, whatever it may be. Shout out to if you're still kicking, man.
Wow, man.
So, that's what we're trying to accomplish, man. And our goal as well too, and I'm sure you're okay with me saying this too, is like, you know, we don't care if it's just, you know, if it's Tom and Jim that are watching our podcast and they're our loyal two viewers. We're going to be talking to Tom and Jim then. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And we're going to wait for the comments, man, to see. Yeah.
That's right. And Tom and Jim, y'all better comment too. So we're not in this for the fame. We're not in this. Yeah, we're not in this to try to blow up. If it happens, it happens. We just genuinely love coming on, talking to each other, picking each other's brain, talking about what's going on in the world, and listening to each other's perspectives.
No question. And, you know, it's going to be a lot of you know, you and I going at it, you know, just like we used to do on the basketball court, you know, just like we did with anything. You know, and the good thing about us, Kevin, and I'm glad you said it that way, is because no matter what, you know, you're my son, I'm your dad. We can talk about anything, anytime, anywhere. You know, like, you know, a lot of people, hey, I'm just checking in, son. I'm just checking in, dad, or whatever. You know, hey, how you doing? Blah blah blah. And that's it. You know, me and you talk, man. It's like a oh shoot, we just go from subject to subject.
Good thing they still not charging for minutes, Pop. Good thing they still not charging for minutes, man.
They were charging me.
You know,
hey man, that's a whole nother topic, man, that we're gonna talk about in the future.
Man.
Look, shout out to all my people that are over 40. Hey, these abbreviations.
What was that? A calling card? What was that calling card they used to have back in the day? Right?
Wow, I don't know nothing about that, man.
That's what it's called.
Nah, man. I don't know nothing about that. Nothing about that. But I will say, it's gonna be interesting to get that perspective, or actually share that perspective of someone my age, you know, who I am over 50, obviously, you know, even though I look damn good for my age, but we're gonna go through that. We're gonna go through that. You know what I mean? Because it's hard to, you know, there's a lot of things, man, when I never thought I would get to the point where I'm like, man, what are these young kids saying? What does that mean? You know, I used to roll. I would cry laughing, watching people trying to figure out stuff. That's me now. Look, shout out to Progressive. I'm those dudes in the Progressive commercials, man. I'm like, you know, I find myself looking at clouds like, wow, hey, you know it's gonna rain today, right? You know, no, stuff I would have never, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Stuff where, so I'm definitely, I can't wait to chop it up into, like I said, you dads, you moms that are my age, even younger, you know, the whole thing comes back to me talking to my son. You know, we do have that communication, and I can't wait to share that with other people, get their perspective, get their stories, get their comments, you know, their likes. You know, don't forget to hit that like button so that we can say, hey, you know what,
please. Right?
Yeah, so we can, trust me, we'll reach out to you. We'll say like, hey, you know, saw your comment, you know, can I quote you, you know, because just what do kids do? What do kids do? You know, what do you tell me now? Wait, you use one now? Hey, Dad, it's like you used to tell me, you know, if you hadn't tried something, if you hadn't had it, right, I'd say, Kev, have you tasted it yet? How do you know you don't?
Oh yeah, you talking about so for those out there, just a little bit of background. I'm a salesman by profession these days, and one of the things that I always used to tell customers when they would say, you know, I'm not sure, is I would ask them, have you tried it before? And they say, no, I haven't tried it. And I bring up what I call the sushi clothes, man. Like, how do you know you don't like sushi if you never tried it, right? And I hate sushi. That's what Pop is referring to there. Yeah. When's the last time you ate sushi again? When's the last time you ate sushi?
Man. Hey, Bobby Brown was still thin and hot, dude. He was working it. You know what I mean? Back then. That's how long it's been, man. Yeah.
Hey, man, the fish has gotten better since then, man. You might like it, man. I just had some mango sushi yesterday.
No, man, I'm not. You had sushi yesterday? You did?
Oh, of course, man. Of course. A little miso.
I had sushi.
Yeah, no sake yesterday, though.
Oh, hey, man. Shout out to you and your sake. Yeah. Let me just tell you this, man. Let me bring this in real quick, you know, because Breezy, I don't know how we are on the time, but man, black people eat fried fish, man. You know what I mean? We're a fried fish phenomenon. Right? We don't, but you will catch, you know, a black dude or a black person sneaking into a sushi place here and there, you know, to have some sushi with the coworkers, you know, or have some sushi with, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Let me ask you a question. When you went to do your sushi, when you went last night, how many black people were in there?
Come on, you know the answer to this. You know the answer
to
this.
Okay, I know the answer, but I want everybody else to know. How many black people were in there?
Come on, man.
Right?
Come on,
it was just you. It was just you,
Zero,
right?
man. Zero, man. Right? All that swag in there, it was just me, man. They couldn't believe it, man. You know what I mean? They couldn't.
And you know what? And you know what? The sushi chef, he's like, oh, it's the black dude. Bring him the special.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And yo,
right?
shout out my sushi chefs too, man. You know what I mean? Shout out y'all, man. Y'all don't get enough love.
Yeah, man. See, we don't have that, man. That's how we do barbecue, man. When you walk into a barbecue spot, it's like, yeah, let me get that.
Yo.
Oh, damn, he's got. right?
Yo, nobody's shouting out the cooks though, and a lot like I almost came up with a business idea where you can give tips, and if somebody comes out with this, man, you know, hook your boy up, man, on a little percentage, but where you can give tips to the actual chef, man, because that's a whole nother segment about tipping the waitress, but like really I need to be tipping the chef. You know what I'm saying? Like you just brought out the food that the chef made to my table. Like really I need to be tipping the chef. So I like how in sushi restaurants, you know, you can see the chefs right there cooking it up for you. You know what I mean? So, you know, shout out to all the chefs, man. But Pop, man, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that another day, man.
We will.
This is the end, man. This is the end of the
quick.
first episode, and I want to tell you something, man. It was lovely, man, and I want to let you know, man, I'm really proud of who I am, man.
Man, I'm proud to be him.
You know why, man? Because he is I,
and I am him. Definitely,
and
no question.
That's
I love
for
you, man.
Sure, man. That's for sure, man. I love you too.
Okay, man.
And this is the start of something amazing, man. So thank you for everybody that watched. Thank you for everybody that's tuning in. Like my pop said, please comment, please like, please subscribe. Tap in with us, man. This is the start of a beautiful thing, man. Absolutely.
Can't wait, man.
Much
it's
love,
gonna be big.
Man. Much love.
It's gonna be big. Much love to you. I love you, man.
All right, I love you too, man. We out.
All right, man. We out.